I'll introduce myself and then you can introduce yourself. Is that okay?
That sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Hello. I'm Courtney. I'm the study abroad manager at UW-Tacoma, and welcome to our Instagram live about the European Summer School. And I'd like to introduce Dr. Eberly. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name is Marion. So I'm at the Milgard School of Business. I'm a faculty member there. I teach in the management area. Currently also the undergraduate program director. And, I've been doing this program now for 3 years. And so I am from Germany. So I guess that's kind of how I got involved in this. I'm really super excited to share my country with some of you students.
Hey, thank you. Okay. I don't see anyone who's asked any questions yet, but that's okay. I've got a list of questions and there are people watching. So for those of you that are watching, feel free to ask questions in the comments, or there's also a question, like a question box that you can fill out. But why don't we start with some of the questions, that we've prepared, and then people can ask as they feel comfortable doing so. So, Marianne, what are you most excited for students to experience on the European Summer School program?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, well, with any study abroad, I'm just excited for students or for anybody to really get immersed in a completely different culture. Germany doesn't seem so different, but it is. And so I've made this move over here to the United States, so kind of the other way around, and probably underestimated the differences. So I'm just excited for students to really get immersed and to meet students from a variety of different countries. So the group that went over there a couple of years ago, pre-COVID, they had a blast, and they told me that they have made lifelong friends. And I think that's where, yes, the program itself is, of course, very important in what you learn. But I think the relationships you build with others in the program while you're over there they're going to be meaningful for life. And I think that's where a lot of the learning really takes place, and the growth and development as a student. Yeah.
I agree. And the cool thing about this program is that there's students from all around North America joining, right? As well as students from India, I remember last time, maybe some places in South America, I can't remember. So students are getting the opportunity to not just interact with students from different, American universities, but all over the world.
Yes. And they do have, so you get assigned a buddy. Right. Somebody who's from Germany, a German student who can kind of show you, how to work the public transportation system, how to get around, where to go to party, honestly, those kinds of things. I think that's also going to be really, really helpful. And some of those students are also taking the classes on site with our students. And so it's not, like you said, not just students from North America, meeting somewhere else in a different country. It's truly getting to know individuals from across the world.
Right, exactly. One question that students often ask is coursework compared to coursework, at UW-Tacoma. How much, how does it work in a different way? What am I trying to say? What is the difference between German coursework and US-based coursework? What can students expect?
Yeah, so with this program is yet unique and different from what you would experience if you were to actually study abroad and take the regular classes over there. So these classes are truly tailored to students from North America. So one of the things that they do that I really think is cool is they have partner universities from all around the world, and they actually invite instructors from all of their partner universities to come and teach in the European Summer School. So you will not just have one instructor per course, you will have basically a bunch of different guest lecturers in a way. And so there's lots of variety. you will get instructors from a variety of different cultural backgrounds sharing their unique expertise, which is exciting. So it kind of really switches things up in terms of lecture styles, different styles of engagement with each other, which can be fun. So that's one thing. The other thing that the courses are really doing, which, we try to do this at UW too, but they're trying to really do project-based learning. And so I know that last time, and also in the virtual program that we had to run a year ago, they bring in a company, possibly multiple companies from the region, and the company is basically posing a challenge to the students, and then you work with teams to actually propose a solution to that challenge, and you get to present to the actual, individuals in the organizations, in the top management team and so forth, who are there then to actually listen to your solutions and give you feedback. Or you get to visit the company, do a facility tour, all these kinds of things. So it's really integrated experiential learning, applied learning, very much applied learning, project-based learning in teams, which is, very exciting. It's a great learning opportunity. And so that's what's kind of really set this program apart from sort of regular coursework in a way. One thing about German classes is when it comes to grading, what's really different, and I think these courses are structured this way too, is oftentimes what you have is your grade depends very heavily on one exam at the end of the course. I'm pretty sure that's how this works as well. So you'll have one major exam at the end, and your grade will majorly depend on it, versus where here we're more like homework here, there's an exam, there's paper, and so forth. So it's more exam-based. But also very much paying attention to your participation in class and so forth. So those are kind of a couple of things that come.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to add, for those who are listening, Marion was citing other study abroad programs at the University of Applied Sciences in Bielefeld. And so we have the European Summer School program, which has run, as Marion said, for several years. Students are taking, they're not, picking and choosing their courses. I think that's what we're trying to make clear. They're taking, you are assigned to this particular course that you're taking with, like Marion, choosing your courses. You're taking the same course with all these other students. If you are interested in going to a university on an exchange, which is meaning you're studying abroad at a foreign institution, you can also do that at the university in Bielefeld. We have a program that allows you to do so, but those are semester-based programs. So if that's something that someone is interested in that is on this Instagram Live right now, please reach out to me either via Instagram, or you can email me at KROLLC, and we can talk about the differences between the exchange program and the European Summer School program. Just want to make that clear because it's new and it's exciting, and I think you're excited about it too. Another thing that students ask about, and I get it, is food. What can you, so maybe I'll answer the question first, because I was at the university 2 years ago. Gosh, no, 3 years ago now. 2019, whenever that was. I got to visit our students who were there. And I was blown away by the affordability, the deliciousness, and the health factor of the canteens, the cafeterias that they have on campus. So everything was, between €2 and €3 and €4, which is, up to $5, $6 for a full meal of delicious, like, salads and sandwiches and hot food and desserts and fruit. And it was wonderful. So on campus, there's a lot of food options, just so everyone knows. But in general, Marion, what do you think students should know about German food, or the food of, Bielefeld, things like that?
Yeah, so I think I remember the group of 4 who were there a couple of years ago, that so Bielefeld is, you probably have never heard of Bielefeld before. I don't blame you. It's a smaller city in Germany, so it's not as metropolitan as like if you would go to Berlin, for example, or to Cologne or place like Hamburg, you would find a lot of international cuisine at every corner. It's less like that in Bielefeld, although you still find it and can locate it. It just might take a little bit of work and going online and finding those places. So you will find more traditional German cuisine in Germany or in Bielefeld around you. And, that's classic sort of pork and potato type of dishes and things like that. And so those will be, they're also, pretty affordable. We also, though, have a long history also of immigration into Germany. And so we do have lots of great Turkish food. We have individuals from restaurants from Serbia, Croatia, and so that part of Europe we had a significant immigration from that part of Europe, and so you see it reflected in the cuisine. We have great Italian food.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's lots of Italians who, make their pizza, and there's gelato places everywhere. And so that's like what my daughter loves. That's like her do when we go and visit Oma and Opa, is to go to the Italian gelato place and enjoy that. So there's definitely both great local cuisine and some international flair. If you ever would miss American style food, I don't recommend going to place. They have the best burger in Bielefeld or anything to that, or spare ribs and things like that. It's not. I would not recommend it.
Agreed. You might be able to go somewhere in Berlin or Cologne, like you said, to find some kind of burger bar or something. And those places that's actually the next question I was going to touch on with you. I think a lot of students, especially with this program, are interested in the fact that part of the program consists of field trips to other cities outside of Germany, but also the location of Bielefeld is so fantastic because you can really get to lots of different parts of Germany.
Yes.
With a train as opposed to so is there anything that you wanted to share about travel within Germany or the other countries that the students are going to be able to visit whilst they're part of the European Summer School program?
Yeah, and I was amazed, that group that went over a couple of years ago, how adventurous they were. And they went every single weekend, it seems like.
Yeah.
And is so close. And so when we think about maybe spending the weekend in Portland here, I mean, if you take that span from here to Portland, then have the same distance and just make a circle around Bielefeld, that same radius, you're going to be visiting so many different places. And so there's lots to reach within just a weekend. Taking the train, as Courtney, you said, public transportation is really easy. And so you get to, places like Hamburg, Cologne, Berlin. I had one student, I think, went all the way down to Munich, went to the Alps, things like that. So that's all really doable. One thing during that time period that you're there happened to be quite a few, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 federal holidays actually during that program. Yeah. And so last time I remember there was a federal holiday on a Thursday, and then the school decided there's no class on Friday. So you end up having a 4-day long weekend. And then the opportunities are endless. One of the students, she flew to Spain because she had a friend there, or she flew there with a friend, or she had some connection. And so there's places, there's cheap airline tickets as well. On places like Ryanair, there's great airlines that can really get you places pretty quickly. And so there's lots and lots to explore. You can also, of course, come in early, leave late, because you're not immediately needing to start the next quarter here. And so there's great opportunity for some travel. And if you can, I'd strongly encourage you to do it and really expand or beyond Northwest Germany.
Yes. And I think something that students might not know because of their experiences just in the United States, travel within Germany, or as you mentioned, to other countries is much more affordable than here. So if you are planning to take a train to Spain, or not, I guess not a train, but plane to Spain, it might cost you only 50 euros as opposed to, taking a flight to Portland would cost potentially $300, $400, right? So
Yeah.
it's important to remember that this is something that people do in Europe frequently, and there are cost-effective ways to do it. And I know that we're talking about travel and food and not just talking about, coursework, but I think what's really important for students to know is that we don't expect you to sit in a classroom all day, every day as a part of your study abroad, right? That wouldn't make any sense because you wouldn't be experiencing Germany and everything it has to offer. A lot of the learning happens outside of the classroom. This is a really great program in that students can be independent, can meet people from, like we said before, local Germans, but also people from all around the world. And we expect and hope that you do take advantage of the time that you have in Germany, in Western Europe, etc. So there's nothing wrong with, buying one of those guidebooks and planning your time, as long as you're also going to classes, attending, doing your projects, etc., what you're supposed to be doing. So let's see. Uh-oh, I've got a baby monitor on right next to me. Let me turn this off. Dad's in charge. Okay. I think let's see, we have about 10 more minutes. Let's see if anybody has any other questions. Whoops. Okay. Students often ask about credits, how many credits they're going to be getting, and how they will count towards their major, minor, etc. So I will start by saying that is not something that Marion or I can answer. That's something that you have to talk with your academic advisor about, specifically like how the credits will count towards a business admin major or whatever. But Marion can tell us about the courses that you will be taking and how many credits they are worth.
Yes. So there are 2 courses that you will be taking while in Bielefeld. And so remember, this is just over a 6-week period of time. So you'll be taking 2 courses during that time, and they each count for 5 credits, UWT credits. And so one of them is entitled, and I should have this up here.
I can get it. Get it.
Business, politics, and government in Europe, or something along those lines. So when we looked at the content of that particular course, it really spans a variety of different areas in business. And so we actually do grant just general business credit for it. And so it is T-bus for, business students here. It's a T-bus class. The other class is more focused on management topics around cross-cultural management and things like that. And so that, as the management faculty decided, yep, that's really close to what we teach. And so that should count as a management elective. And so if you are a management major, that's really helpful to you because it counts as one of your 6 management elective classes. If you are a business major, it would pretty much be just like a T-bus class. So those are 10 credits. On top of that, in this particular program, you need to take an independent study. And this is the piece that happens not while you're in Bielefeld, but this happens before you leave when the spring quarter starts and you're not quite going to Bielefeld yet, because that program doesn't start until the middle of May. You'll do an independent study, and it's going to be actually with me. And you have to take 2 credits of independent study work. You can choose all the way up to 6 credits. So I'm flexible. You'll have to do, the more credits you choose, the more work that you will be doing with me. But I just want to make that available because every student's situation is a bit different. Some of you say 12 credits in total are totally fine. Others say, no, I really need the 15 credits. And so we make that possible for you because we don't want that to stand in the way for you to apply and take advantage of this opportunity. So you'll be doing an independent study with me. So there'll be, a total of 2, 3, 4 students who will be doing. and then we'll be working together, super flexible. We'll figure out in the spring when we meet, how often, in what modality, whether it's Zoom or in person. We'll figure it all out together. I'm really flexible. And then we prepare you for the study abroad. So we cover subjects like cross-cultural communication. You'll research the country of Germany, the cultural values it has, things like that, and kind of get you ready for it all. And so that's in total then 12 to 16 credits.
Perfect. Thank you. And if students have more questions about the specific courses, there are course descriptions on the program website. And I just so everybody knows, the courses are T Management 490, European Culture, and then T Business, 490, European Politics and Business, and then the Independent Study. Thank you. Let's see. Where, and I can answer this question too, Marion, if you're not sure. Where do students live while they're abroad?
Did you actually see it when you were there?
I didn't get to go inside.
Okay.
I took the students out to lunch at a restaurant right next to where they stayed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you may be better equipped to answer this.
Sure, I can try. And please add. So, the University of Bielefeld helps students with the housing. This is not something you're expected to find on your own. There is essentially a hostel in the city center, that students get a private room, a sink. They share a bathroom. So it's like, I guess we would compare it to a dorm. If anyone has stayed in hostels before, that's likely what it'll look like, but they're private rooms. Hostels sometimes, are where you're sharing rooms with lots of people. That is not the case. You'll have a private room, but a shared bathroom and a shared kitchen as well. And the cool thing about this is, although the University of Bielefeld has on-campus housing, the university is a bit, it's not in the city center because it's a large campus, kind of surprisingly more like an American style campus. A lot of universities in Europe don't have, like a big chunk of land where they sort of plop down the university, but in Bielefeld it is like that. So my point is, a lot of students live on campus, which is rare, as I've heard, for European universities. But the cool thing about the European Summer School program is students are put in this apartment, hostel, dorm style building in the center of the city, really close to the train station, to the bus station, to shopping, to great restaurants, and only a 10-15 minute tram ride away from the university. But it's very accessible for literally everything you want to do. Groceries. Like I said, the tram, the bus system is really right next to the hostel, and then you just hop on and are in a nice air-conditioned tram, which air conditioning is sometimes tricky to find abroad. So it's really nice that the air conditioning was in the tram. Anyways, and so it's very accessible and easy, and really well located. Was there anything else that I'm forgetting, Marion?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
And that is part of the service that Bielefeld is providing for us, that our colleagues in the international office at the University of Bielefeld are providing. So you are not required to do anything except for, after students are accepted, our colleague in Bielefeld will reach out and ask, when are you arriving? When are you departing? Let's make sure that you have this room ready for you, but that's it. You're not going to be required to do anything to make that happen, besides answer a couple of questions in an email. So, and we should also maybe say that there is an international office at the University of Bielefeld that helps international students, so our UW-Tacoma students, with whatever they need help with. So there is local support for y'all if you needed it as well. And there are, welcoming activities. And as Marianne said before, there's a buddy system that they put in place. So you meet local Germans and things like that. So there are resources on campus to use, even though someone from UW-Tacoma will not physically be there. Let's see, we have I don't see any further questions, so maybe we'll end with this
But
last one.
Courtney, I do actually
Oh,
see some on my
oh,
end.
do you? Good,
Yeah.
please, please.
Yeah. So I have 3 questions on my
Oh,
end.
you do? Great. Please answer them.
Oh, yeah. So one question was, what does the typical class schedule look like?
Mhm.
So at UWT, we have Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday. In Bielefeld, it's similar. However, the European Summer School is this whole other animal again. And so they come up with their own schedule. And I actually, when I saw the question pop up, I pulled up the schedule from 2019. Um, and so maybe we can even share this, but it's that they basically, for those 6 weeks that you're there, for the weekdays, unless it happens to be a holiday, you will be on campus for quite a bit of time. And so I'm just looking at the schedule here. Like it starts, 9:45, a lecture on gender and international business. Then you have another lecture. Then you have German classes, which we forgot to mention that you'll actually be doing some German language classes as well, beginner, of course. And so it looks like the day runs from 9:45 to 4 p.m. And it's not every day that every single slot or every single hour in that time period is filled, but that's sort of roughly what I would be planning. There are also, free days that are being scheduled. The first week, for example, here it says Thursday morning is free, but then in the afternoon you do a field visit to a company. And so every day looks a bit different, but they will have a schedule put together and send it to you ahead of time. So I would say in terms of the number of hours, you'll probably commit, similar to what you would do with a full course load here at UWT.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other question was, are the day trips during the week or on the weekend? And so looking at the schedule from 3 years ago, it looks like they did the field trip to Berlin, actually on a Friday, Saturday. The field trip to Frankfurt, however, was on a Thursday, Friday. And even for the Berlin trip, then your Thursday was free. And so it looks like they still make sure that you have a weekend day, an off day at some point, even if it doesn't end up being Saturday, Sunday. So they'll get time for you. And so it's kind of a little bit all over the place, I guess. And then the trip to Rotterdam was from Thursday to Saturday. That's a bit longer since it's a little further away and you have more there. Yep. And then what was the other question? What would our spring coursework look like before we leave, since the summer school doesn't start until May? Yeah, so the only thing that you will be doing during that time is you'll start the independent study with me. And, and that, depending on the number of class credits you choose for it, is either going to be sort of the workload for a regular class or half of that, because me and my choose 2 credits or 3 credits. Typically what I've done in the past, I would meet 3 times with the students during the time period. So maybe once a week, roughly. We talk for an hour and a half. You do some readings in between. You do research on Germany. You'll write a paper. So pretty similar to what you would do for a regular class, but we don't have regular class meetings. And so in the past, I've had definitely students, they had a full workload, and we'll just figure out when we're all available to meet. So there's no set times or anything. We'll make it work, whatever your schedule looks like. So it's relatively light, I guess. Those first 6 weeks, you'll just be doing one course with me.
Mm-hmm. A lot of students I know have worked during that time, or not done their normal schoolwork and use that time however they see fit. So it's actually a kind of a cool break before you're, sort of thrust into this very busy, exciting 6 weeks in Germany.
Yeah. And then your spring quarter then will be the longer than
right.
for those students who stay here, because the summer school doesn't end until June 24th, I believe. And then there's also a part of the independent study is a reflection paper that you will write after your study abroad. And so obviously that's not something then that you can write until the end of June. And so it stretches into the summer a bit more. So it may have an impact on summer classes. I haven't actually looked at that, whether summer term A starts before June 24th.
It does.
Okay, yeah.
It does.
So that's something to think about. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you saw those questions, and we're past 8 o'clock. I'm sorry about that. Was there any other questions that you saw? I can't see them for some reason.
No, this last one was the last one that I can see.
Okay. Do you have a minute to do one final question?
Sure.
Okay. So I like to end with, what's one piece of advice you'd give a student who's thinking about applying for this program?
Well, I would say if uncertainty is the number one thing that's holding you up, don't. Like, we're here, we're to help you. We have had a student, was it 2 years ago, and then they ended up she couldn't go. She was like, I'm scared to death, but I want to do this. Yeah. And her advisor really counseled her, advised her as well, do this. This is such a great opportunity, because it is, like Courtney was saying, they have such a great support system. So let's say something happens, God forbid anything happens over there, but if something were to happen, they're there to help. They have a great support system, and so you're not alone. You will have your fellow students and a wonderful support system. So if the uncertainty of it all is kind of scary, don't let that be in your way to try this out. We're all here to support you. This is a great opportunity to do something that maybe you wouldn't normally do. It's fantastic. And so I remember was like, oh my God, I've never been.
Yes.
I've never been anywhere else. And all of a sudden I'm on the train going to Munich all by myself, and this is amazing. It was life-changing for him. And so don't be afraid. It's okay to be afraid, but talk to us. We're here to help you and clarify questions so we can reduce some of that.
And also, for those who are listening, we do pre-departure orientation. As Marion said, you're preparing for the program the first 6 weeks of spring quarter. I meet with students to talk about, logistics and your social identity and how that will interact with your study abroad in Germany and all these sorts of things. So there's lots of opportunities for you to ask questions, set expectations, feel prepared. And also, as Marion said, this is something that, employers are looking for. Studying abroad can help you on a grad school application or in a resume or a cover letter. It's just something that you won't have a chance to do. I'm speaking from experience. This is the time to do it. Yeah. It gets a lot harder after you've graduated. So please don't let a little bit of fear deter you. A little bit of fear is good, right? Just means it's important and big.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I'm jealous. This is what always happens. Can I go, please? Who's going to take care of my kids? I'll get out of here. Anyways, thank you all for coming. Marion, thank you so much. We are so appreciative. We had 7 students. That's amazing. So, so everyone, this will be recorded. This is recorded. This will be on our website in the next couple of days. Please reach out to Marion or I. Both of our contact information is on the European Summer School website. Use us as a resource. We're here to help, and we're just so excited.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Courtney.
Thank you.
Listening.
See you later.